They murdered Lyon days after putting him on a Hero Fest. This is nuts. Okay, we're going to go over this banner. This banner has some really interesting things, and I like it. We're going to talk about Mia first, though, and I like this unit a lot. She is very much in that Halloween Maria vein, and this is a fun archetype and always has been. I would caution you on sometimes the statuses here make it sound like this unit is bigger than they are, but let's get into this and I'll explain why. So, Summertime Axe, you have enables Canto remaining +1, which is excellent. Slaying grants attack speed, defense, res +5. That's actually just flat stats that is giving you, which is really good and not something we see a whole lot of. At start of turn, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants speed, defense, res +6. You have neutralizes effective against flying bonuses and reduces the percentage of foes' non-special damage by X%, skills by 50%. So you have piercing, eye shield, all good. And all of that's granted for 1 turn. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants bonus to units. Attack speed, defense, res equals 15% of unit speed at start of combat, and neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X. So you have Null Guard. Unit deals +X times 5 damage, max of 30. Excluding area of effect specials, which is kind of disappointing. And an AoE add-on to that would have been busted as all heck. And reduces damage from foes attack by X times 3 during combat, max of 18. That's 18 flat damage reduction as a possibility there if you have 5 effects. And also, when foes attack triggers foes special, reduces damage further by X times 3, max of 18. So we're up to 36. 36 flat damage. X equals the number of bonus effects on unit and foe, and essentially it's a max of 5. And she already gives herself that. Like, she's going to get that from her kit. It also does really well with Speed Defense Prime 4, which is going to activate that. The problem is Nurgle exists, and Nurgle is just omnipresent. I have seen Nurgle in almost every single mode except for AR offense, but he's not really a great AR offense unit for obvious reasons. Still, this is a little bit bonkers. It's just there is a hard counter for that, and so you have a ceiling on this unit, unfortunately. Also, you're not going to want to keep the Prime 4 skill on her. You're going to want something that you can keep your your distant counter, unless you are using this for clears. And if you want to use this for PvP clears, honestly, she would be a great PvE clear person. Like, I think she would be a lot of fun and make for some fantastic videos that way. Moving on, we have Pegasus Rift, which gives you even more flat damage reduction, which is just nuts. It also gives you some nice true damage, and this is a really nice kit overall. Again, I think this is a really fun unit. If you think of, and I said Halloween earlier, Spring Maria. Spring Maria is definitely the comp here. And Spring Maria was really busted, if you guys remember. In the right hands and with the right team, she did very, very well. I think this is Spring Maria, but like the next evolution here. This is pretty bonkers. But again, she has that ceiling. She has that counter that's out there in the meta, and bonuses I think are going to continue to be attacked. I think that is the give and take that IS is after right now. You have giving everyone really broken bonuses and then providing ways to take them away. It's not a bad thing, to be honest with you. Like, I don't hate it. It's an interesting dynamic. But yeah, I mean, Nurgle is out there and he gives Essence Drain to everyone, and it's tough to deal with. So where do we place this unit? I have her in tier 1, and these are all in tier 1 are all really good units. Just Ike is on a different level even now. I know they're releasing things that are supposed to counter Ike, but they're not doing a very good job, and on purpose. I think they're going to keep him as the top dog for a while, and it's not a bad thing. I think we needed to cool it on the constant power creep, and the fact that we're having units now that don't automatically reach into tier 0 is not terrible, especially right before CYL. All that being said, tier 1 is very good. Like, these are some excellent units. I used Erica all last season and loved her. She is a ton of fun. I put this unit one behind Erica simply because Erica has a way around a lot of the things that are going on, like Essence Drain. She lacks a little bit of the killing power that you'd want, but she's still very good, and I think Mia is going to be in that vein. Sita also, I mean, especially in the right hands with the right team, she is absolutely busted and a lot of fun. So what I'm saying basically is tier 1 is kind of a grab bag depending on what team you're going up against. So keep that in mind. Tier 2, we have the Lagoo's Friend 4 folks, the best users of it right there, and we have some gimmicky folks down below that can still be used but have a little more trouble than the folks up above. I predicted that Lucia would break the meta. I did not understand how she might break the meta. This is a little different. I want you to pay real close attention to that combat here in just a second. We'll go over it, but Breezy Spear, this has a lot of the stuff that she already had. Like, this is definitely an iteration. We talked about iteration versus evolution. This is an iteration of Lucia, and rightfully so. Lucia is not that old of a unit, but the having DC in the weapon is very nice. It frees up your A skill for some really busted things that can give you more speed, which was one of the big things that held Lucia back. Like, her speed fell off very quickly because it's hard to get her more speed. But anyway, let's see. Unit and target cannot trigger specials during combat or area of effect specials. And the thing about that is so many folks are using AoEs right now because they are so good versus Ike. This unit isn't going to have to worry about that. So if you have Ike and then a Lucia team, there are quite a few defenses that you're going to be able to take care of. You've got Grants and Omni plus 5 to unit, Grants bonus to units, Omni plus 15% of unit speed at start of combat, and deals 20% of unit's speed during combat, excluding area of effect specials, and restores 7 HP to unit after combat. So the healing is nice. We get the extra stats, although I'll be completely honest, not as much as I want. Like, I'd want actually more stats on her because, again, it's really hard to buff her up. But then we have the usual stuff: disable skills of all other foes and allies during combat, excluding unit and target. Disables the following effects for both unit and target during combat. Defensive terrain effects support. You guys have read this. Like, this is great. This is amazing. She shuts down a lot of things, but we saw how quickly this type of unit tends to fade because so much of what you do as an Omni tank is get help from your friends. Now, there are some different things you can do now. There are so many debuffs you can put on the enemy. Think about Duo Robin and the fact that you can put Hush Spectrum on the opponent. I'm not saying that helps you here, but there are a lot of things like that that you can put on the opponent and basically support through, penalties. But that has kind of a mixed bag in a world with Freyr, but that is a thing you can do to kind of prolong this unit's life. I'll warn you that this unit will be very good for a short period of time, and then we'll have kind of a steep fall off. Think of it kind of like a Vantage unit. I think of it kind of like the same type of shelf life. That's not to say she won't be fun. No A skill. What? I mean, did they cheap out on us? What? Probably bonus doubler 4. It's my favorite current A skill, and again, having DC lets you free up that A skill and put some extra stats on her, which are going to be good. Attack speed bulwark is just not the special you're going to run on her. Like, not even close. This is Lagoo's Friend 4 all the way. This unit is built for it. You do that and godlike reflexes, and that's probably just the way you're going to run this unit. What else do we have here? What could possibly change the meta and break it in a C skill? Bam! Firm, Canto, Curb Stomp. I mean, this is it. Like, they had Lyon, they bumped him down with Breath of Life, and I thought, okay, that is a nice balance. You still have a unit that has value. This is good. I don't even know what to say. If foe is within 4 spaces of unit, and unit triggers Canto, inflicts Canto control on that foe. We've seen that before. Prevents after start of turn skills trigger, action ends immediately, status effects from being inflicted on unit and allies within 3 spaces of unit. Okay, this is exactly what we were talking about with bonuses. You have kind of a play and counterplay with units like Nurgle. I mean, you enter units like Erica, who has Vantage, and then you can actually kill units before they get to use Essence Drain, and you're just fine. This is just a hard counter. Like, this is basically saying, hey, you have Sathers or Lyon, they don't work anymore. I don't like this at all. I'm not a fan. I don't like this style of power creep. It's negating and it's not great. But what I will say is folks that have been suffering from Lyon are probably cheering right now, and I would not blame you. I do hate that Sather gets caught in the wash here, and man, I have got to rethink where they land, because I have both the Sathers very high. I like those units, and this is going to change how they work quite a bit, because yeah, a lot of how you use those units is on offense to freeze out defensive units, and now you have firm Canto curb stomp. So I will say, like, this is an expensive skill. This is going to be a skill that everyone has, but it is definitely something that I'm going to be summoning for, because I need this in a couple different places, and I'm going to hand this off to some fodder factory and hopefully get it on a couple different key units. But wow. I do want to watch this combat here. If you remember, one of the problems with Lucia is the fact that she didn't really have any true defense, and you really need that mix of true and percentage based. And this unit is only living by 3. And I know, obviously, you're going to put Lagoo's Friend 4 on her head, and that's going to change, but it's the type of thing you want to watch for. Like, because she can't get just crazy support from everyone, it effectively lowers her bulk. All right, we're going to talk about the ranking, and this is, I want to make sure I caveat this. Like, I've said basically a whole bunch of negative things on Lucia, and I want to make sure you guys know I'm very high on this unit. Like, top of tier 1 is really good, and I do think this is kind of a deal where you kind of pick whichever unit is best against the team you're opposing, but I think Lucia is very good. I don't know how many of her you're going to see, just because, I mean, she has that that Canto curb stomp. But I'm begging you. I mean, that's a good thing for you Lucia fans, because that means that fewer people will try to counter her. So I just keep that in mind. I think this is a very good unit. She's not Ike level. So take all of that as one big picture. This is a good unit that I worry about how long the drop off lasts. And when I talk about how long, I'm thinking like in the 3-month range. That's about how the original Lucia did. Then we have Leo, Colorless Tome Cav, who gets just nothing you can inherit on him. Although, I mean, Juicy Bucketful, that means you have more that you can inherit on other people. Fatal Smoke 3 fodder is very good. So as fodder, this unit is not bad. Fatal Smoke is still a very, very good skill in both Summoner Duels and Aether Raid's defense. Juicy Bucketful Plus, this is okay. This is not bad. I mean, at start of turn, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack +6, and if unit initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants Omni +4 to unit during combat and deals +X damage. X equals number of bonus effects active on unit and foe, excluding stat bonuses, ×5, max 25. This is a good weapon. Like, this isn't bad at all. But the problem you're looking at here is the fact that because this is a colorless tome, I don't think you're going to get any rearmed tomes. And there is a definite ceiling on this unit. So I feel a little bad for Leo fans. I did like his last one, the one that was basically the tactics room that was mobile. That was a good unit. I believe that was a Valentine's unit, maybe a spring. But this one is just okay. Okay, I honestly had to think about this one a bit because I misunderstood what the purpose of this unit is. This is Nephenee and Sakura. Okay, well, let's get into it. So Fluttering Fan, this is Accelerate Special Trigger. We've got Slang. If there is an ally within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, grants an Omni 5 plus number of foes within 3 rows and 3 columns centered on unit times 3. Max 14. If any unit within 2 spaces of unit has a Divine Vein effect applied, and it's going to list a ton of things. Basically, you get 14 off of this unit. It's going to be very hard not to. And then we've got neutralizes foes bonuses to speed res. Okay, honest to God, lulls are way better than you think they are. I want you to think about all the different units that are giving out bonus doubler with either effects or in their weapon. This is an underrated thing right now, are these lulls, and I think this is a very, very good piece of what this unit does. But anyway, that's during combat, and also if units attack can trigger unit special, and basically what it's going to give you is a special jump on the first hit and the second hit. This is excellent and helps you with all of the scowl effects that are out there right now. Even though I just had a video that talked about how few there are some key units that have them in the form of the Byleths. And of course, Myrrh is another one that's really going to have that and going to be a pain. This helps you there. If there is an ally within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, and if unit speed is greater than foe speed, foe cannot counterattack. This is better than you think it is. The Byleths are aging, and they are not as powerful as they used to be. They're still a very good unit. Don't get me wrong. They're still excellent, but they are slowly kind of being phased out. So just keep that in mind. And we've already seen this unit is probably going to be pretty good at taking out Myrrh. I don't think this unit is good at taking out Ike. It's not that she's bad. I think it's hard to take out a properly supported Ike. So this is a good nuke. Very solid, very serviceable. But this other stuff is what really got me. So anyway, for allies within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, if allies attack can trigger allies special, neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X, so that's null guard, on ally, and gives a special jump on the first hit to ally. And before allies first attack during their combat, and also if allies' HP is less than or equal to 99%, when triggering their special, ally deals +10 damage. This is really good. This is an excellent, excellent support. And I know there isn't just a wall of text there, but these are 2 things that are, I want you to think about young male Robin. Young male Robin is underrated as a support. This unit is a perfect unit to pair with someone like Ike. This unit will be amazing at cleanup. You can stack up a whole different things on there. She's a flyer, so you can stack on all sorts of great stuff like the guidances and stuff like that. This is a solid unit. I really, really like this one, and I think Nephenee fans are going to be happy with this. Attack Speed Mastery is new. This is good. I like this. This is a kind of a weird mix. So you've got enables Canto 2. So this is not going to be a skill you want on defense, but everywhere else that's really good. At start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, grants attack speed +7 to unit during combat. And also, if any unit within 2 spaces has some sort of terrain effect, be it, terrain that's impassable or anything else, attack speed +4 to unit during combat. So most of the time, you're going to get 11 to both of those, and that's pretty good. So this unit has a lot of stats. This unit's going to hit fairly hard. Keep in mind, saying that this unit won't take out Ike doesn't mean that this unit won't put a really good dent in him. So I just keep that in mind. But the support is what really gets me, and I think is going to make this unit be a lot better than folks think. Next, we have Resonance 4. We've seen this. we talked about this a little bit on DTM's podcast, but I will say, in practice, Resonance 4 is a little better than Occultist Strike. I've done both testing and I've done a lot of sims on this because I was curious. I needed to know. That's not to say, like, there are times when a little bit goes a long way, particularly when you're talking about meta stuff. Like, sometimes you lose by 1 or 2 hit points, and this would have put you over the top. But what I am saying is that I don't know that it's worth foddering this away. If you know what I mean. This unit is probably better as a unit than as Resonance 4 fodder. Don't feel too bad if you've got Occultist Strike. I'm not sure that, unless it's your absolute favorite, and then by all means go there for. But unless it's your favorite, probably just skip Resonance 4 for now. Speed Res Crux, I love the Crux skills. If you wanted to put then an Ivy on this unit and do Soaring Guidance Echo, I think a Soaring Echo, I forget what they call it, but that's, you guys know what I mean. I think this unit would be an excellent recipient of it, and I think this is a lot of fun. I think you're going to see this unit, and she's going to be a little bit of a terror. As far as the supports go, and honestly, I'm gonna need to dig into this a little bit because I do have Sather in Tier 1, and I can't tell where she goes right now. I'm gonna have to sit down and think about it. We're gonna have to see what exactly happens, but I'm Tier 1, I think, is a very good spot for her. I don't think this unit is as universal as Robin, and Nurgle isn't universal, but he's so powerful where you do use him. And Micaiah is definitely universal and has so many ways that you can use her. Because of that, because of the breadth that they provide, I do have this unit in Tier 1, but I think this unit is very, very good. And remember, like support heroes, this is the most competitive archetype right now. Tier 1 for this unit is still very good. But is this a must summon? No, we're not there. If you're interested more in the top 5 worst units that happened last year, I'm going to leave that link here. Members, you are amazing. Thank you for all you do. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.